guys, we have a special episode today with Amanda Chinkan. She is a nutrition therapist, which I know you never heard of because I never heard of. But I am happy you're here.
Thank you so much.
And we are going to get into what is a nutrition therapist, because honestly, I really never heard of that.
Most people haven't. It's like a super niche kind of career, I guess you could say. But I'm a little different from like a traditional nutritionist. I don't just do diet. My focus is nutrient therapy. So I help people with like disease recovery, symptom management, getting rid of, dysfunction going on in their body using nutrients.
So eating healthy to make yourself feel better, to get healthier from illnesses too, or just even mental, right? Because you can eat
a lot.
So we're gonna have to talk about that. I actually grew up with a really, really, like, my dad was super, the vitamins, how to eat healthy. And even back then when there was, like now everybody does the manifestation and from my father, and he, came from another country, and he was actually doing everything people do now, he did with my brother and I. He gave us like, to listen to how never to give up and how to keep strong. And it wasn't called that then, but how smart. I think
like
I'm
motivation
like, wow,
and manifestation.
That's it.
Yeah.
Manifestation, motivation, but all positive thinking. It was strictly positive thinking. We're little kids, like nobody hurt. Like my friends didn't do anything like that, but he was like, everything was health, fitness. I was like crazy, like, he made us do push-ups, sit-ups, pull-ups every night. It was incredible. He created two incredible athletes with me and my brother.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and it was important for the vitamins and to eat healthy. And that stuff really back then wasn't popular, and you didn't have the internet, right? But I do feel like that's why I want to get into it with you. Like I do now, everyone has so much more knowledge on. Not that it matters, because I was eating Sour Patch Kids on my way here. Because I fucking know. I watch, I read everything, and I'm still like throwing the Oreos, catching it like a fucking seal. And I know it's not good for me, and I know it can make you feel bad. So tell me, what foods would you recommend for someone that is like going through a hard time, or because I know that can be helpful, right? Or like someone depressed.
It's very helpful, but the thing is that it's not just our food anymore, right? Like it's so crazy because I've never actually met somebody who had a similar upbringing to me ever. And my dad was actually very similar to your dad. And we grew up, we were actually vegetarian. My dad was like a follower of Gary Null. Do you know who that is?
No.
So in like the 80s and 90s, he used to have a show on the radio where he was talking about nutrition and health. So my dad was a cab driver, and he would turn on Gary Null every day, and that's what he listened to. So he would come home and like implement all that stuff in our house. And we were the weird ones in the middle of Brooklyn.
That's so funny.
It's crazy. I was the only one who would pack lunch, right? My dad used to make me lunch, and then I'd go to school and throw the lunch away and eat the school lunch.
I know, because you're a kid. It's like,
and
I get it.
everybody was like, "What are you eating?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I'm throwing this out," and just go get on the line and get school lunch. That's crazy. I've never met somebody who had like a similar upbringing to me.
Oh, and my dad was like, "Come on, we're gonna run 6 miles," like nothing.
Yeah.
So like it was just very like natural. It was normal.
Yeah.
That's the word, normal, to me, to be exercising 24/7. But I will share a funny story just because you grew up like I did. Maybe did you work out or do any sports?
We did running.
Okay.
Yeah, we were
runners. Yeah,
runners.
because he had to add in. So your father was probably like, not just the food, right? But I went to 6th grade. This is like the best story. Now, my brother would do like hours of hours of just sit-ups, right?
Wow.
We would do our games, weren't like regular games. It was like a squat on the wall for my brother and I. We're 18 months apart, so when we're young, I could hang with him, until you hit like 12, and then I lost. I couldn't take it because I'm not good at losing. And I was like, I'm not strong enough anymore. I can't take this. But anyway, my dad would be like, stay there and see who could give up. Who
would like give up first?
You understand? On the wall, you're in a squat.
Yeah.
But your inner strength becomes like, I grew up
Hard.
instead of like someone getting like a Barbie doll as a gift, I was like, what is this? It was such a heavy box, I couldn't even pick it up. He's like, it's weights for your ankles.
Oh my God.
I'm like, happy birthday to me. What the fuck? Can't wait.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
It was awesome. We had a pole. We lived in the projects and the public housing. The apartment's tiny. Made it work. He had a pole he put there with the weights. I actually have photos of this. Maybe I should post it with, you'll see me hanging upside down. Slow crunches.
That's awesome.
So under my clothes, I was like Bruce Lee. I was shredded and crazy strong, right? Which my temper and the strength was probably not the best mix. Yeah, it was very dangerous. But I look harmless. So I go to 6th grade, and my brother was already in the school, right? The gym teacher comes over, all the girls are sitting there, and he's like, you know, you're young in 6th grade. How old were we in
like
6th grade?
11, 12?
Yeah, we're young. So he says to me, he's like, do you know what a sit-up is?
Oh God.
I'm like, I
I
can't
could crush
fucking
you
win.
with my ab.
I can't get away from the sit-ups. All the girls are sitting there, and he goes, oh, you know how to do it correctly? I was like, yep. And I'm thinking, oh my God. At that point, I was like doing 300 a night, 103 sets, right?
Yeah.
But that was boring to me, the sit-up thing, but what sparked my interest was as soon as he said, well, we compete against other schools. He's like, and this is how many sit-ups you can do in 60 seconds. And I was like, I never did that shit. That was like something I was like, I want to know how many I could do in 60 seconds. That got me happy. So he's like, the other coach comes over, he goes, he's going to hold your ankles, right? And he's showing me, I'm like, just hurry the fuck up because I want to do it. So he goes, and every time you touch the floor, it counts, right? I'm not even kidding. I look at the other coach and I go, you have to hold my ankles tight. And he's like, oh, I got you, sweetie. I was like, you got to hold my ankles. And he was like, no, I will. I was like, I know this is just the first couple. I'm probably going to headbutt him because I know he does not know what's coming. I was a machine.
Yeah.
He holds my ankles. I'm not even kidding. They're like, go. I am fucking flying. My body's jumping off.
Because you're used to doing weight.
Oh my God, yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
Crunches, weights.
Yeah.
I'm flying. And I wasn't seeing, I was just zoned into how many I can do. And when it was over, I'm not kidding. Everybody was so quiet. The whole gym, everybody was just staring at me. I was like, how many did I do? And he let go of my ankles, scared shit of me. he just let go, and he's like, can
Enough.
you give me 1 second? I was like, but how many did I do? He's like, he calls the other gym teacher over, and he's like, I swear I'm not making this up. He's like, ask everybody. He's like, you know how many she did in 60 seconds? 76.
That's crazy.
No, it gets even better. The
In
gym
60
teacher
seconds?
turns around and goes to me, is your last name Salmani? And I go, yeah, how did you know that? He goes, the brother did 94 this
Oh
morning.
my God.
I'm not even kidding.
That's so
He
funny.
goes, what else can you do? I said, everything. When we went to compete, it was great for me because now, like all that training, I never got to appreciate how like strong and fast I was and all these things my dad trained me. It was so rewarding. Yeah. And then I went and I competed and I came home with every trophy under the sun and it was such a good feeling. And I feel like some people would be like, oh, don't you feel like you exercise a lot? You had 2 kids with crazy energy. You have a small apartment. We were always outside and my father is spending time with me. How could you even think of looking something like that negative? What is negative? Yeah. Being healthy. I mean, it keeps you strong-minded, right?
100%.
So as far as eating healthy, it's funny because I know what I should be eating and I still eat bad. So that's why my therapist is here now. So I had to share that story with you because it was great.
I think that's amazing because it shows just like how much endurance you can build with a little bit of effort and a little bit of practice, right? And I think we've kind of lost sight of that, you know, like as a society, we don't really put the effort into our health anymore. And it's sad, really, right?
So
and
sad.
it's so sad. And so you're asking the question about what you should be eating for like to help you feel better, right?
Yeah, like if you're depressed or
So,
you're feeling down and
Here's
out.
the thing about depression, okay? The number one nutrient deficiency that women have is B6. Okay? B6 is, so let's say this is a branch of your nerves, right? So we have like a million nerves coming out of our spine. They go into your body and that's how everything runs, right? So let's say this is a branch of your nerves. Your nerves actually have essentially skin. It's called a myelin sheath, right? That skin is made up of B6. So if you don't have B6, it's like the skin is getting peeled on your nerves. And so what happens, if I get burned on my hand, it's gonna get irritated, it's gonna be painful. So imagine that all of your nerves feel like that. And they're,
And sciatica and all these.
yeah, and so they're jumping and they're in pain. And your brain is literally attached to your whole spinal column. So if you don't have B6, how are your nerves gonna function? How's your brain gonna function? How's your emotion gonna get regulated? It can't.
That's so interesting.
Right. So it's crazy because right now in our country, 1 in 4 women are put on psychotropic medications. But we don't test for B6
Why?
because
They
it's just
don't.
not part of the metabolic panel. We test B12. We need B12 to live.
B12 is like, yeah, like
Yeah.
everyone knows about B12.
B12.
Right.
We need B12 to live. It's a part of a lot of our function, but B6 is actually a more prevalent deficiency than B12, and we don't test it. But we very quickly throw people on psychotropics instead of saying, hey, let's actually look at the function. Let's look at what's happening in there so that we could see. So
Does it help you feel calmer too?
again, 1 in 4 women are on psychotropics. Most of the time when they leave my program, they're off of it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and B6 is like one of the number one things I just like start throwing at people because,
And they say they feel better.
oh, they feel so much better. It's your nerves are like calm. You can actually sleep. You could think. You're not like it's really interesting, but your myelin sheath actually is the thing that helps electrical conductivity in your nerves. So imagine like you're a conduit and then I just peel off a part of that conduit and electricity is trying to go through, right? It's like, it's gonna jump. You're gonna feel that.
Wow.
And so,
And no one tells you to take it. I never heard.
Yeah.
I mean, I took an all-in-one vitamin, but nothing specific with
Yeah.
B6.
yeah.
And you said women really need it.
Women are super notoriously deficient in B6, B1, and B2. And you need all 3 of those things to have a normal brain function and to actually process emotions in your hypothalamus. And we don't have it. So then people wonder why women are crazy. Well, this is why. Because we
And
don't-
moody.
And
And
moody.
there's so many factors. It's
I mean,
really
yeah, there's a
hard.
million factors.
It is.
But
It's really hard. That's
yeah.
why I feel like we should be on top of that
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah. And so like B6 is actually really hard to find in nature. There's only like, a handful of things that have like a lot of B6 in it, but we don't really eat that stuff, like nutritional yeast is one of those things. Do you know what nutritional
No.
yeast is? So nutritional yeast is like, it's like vegan cheese. It's a yeast, right? And you put it like a lot of vegetarians and vegan people use it as a cheese replacement because that's what it tastes like.
Oh, I actually know what that is.
Yeah, like people call it nooch sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like on, have you ever eaten Brad's kale chips?
Yes.
That's what's on it.
It's really good.
Yeah, that's what's on it though. That's nutritional yeast.
There's so many good things.
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get a lot of B6 from that. You could take it in a supplement. You can do
Oh, I'm
lots of
definitely going to pay. So if I take an all-in-one vitamin that already has it, even to take one by itself is good too, right?
It depends. So like if you are a person who, let's say you're somebody like on a scale of 1 to 10, right? If you're saying my anxiety is at a 10, taking a multi is not going to bring you up enough to bring that down.
Okay.
It'll help you with like basic function, but it's not going to be enough to pull you back out of that and like give you normal function. Because now it's not just, okay, let me replace it. Now we have to fix all the damage that happened from you not having it. We got to fix that damage first, then get you to the line of efficiency.
Do you test everyone on what it is they need and don't need?
So I can. I don't normally, because usually we don't need to. So what I actually do, like if somebody comes to me and they're like, I need help with my health, I feel like shit, I just want to feel better, I actually do a 200 question survey about how they're feeling. And I use all of that information to like narrow down what deficiencies they have. And
you can thank your dad for this career.
My mom would hate to hear that, but yeah.
Well, he steered you in a direction to eat healthy. Again, these things were not popular back then.
No, it wasn't. And honestly, yes, that is true. I do say that to myself now. Like, I do have my dad to thank for that, because he left us when I was like 12 and a half. And after he left, I went through like a very crazy period.
Right.
Full hood mode, right? And like
anger
at
the world.
Angry at everything.
Angry
and then using, like whatever to get over the anger. And then I got really, really sick. And
it affected your health, right?
A lot. I got very sick. By the time I was 23, I was on 6 different medications.
Oh, wow.
I had I don't even remember how many diagnoses I had at that point. Like,
really?
It was like diagnosis after diagnosis. And the thing that was crazy for me was like, every time I went to the doctor, their solution was, here's more medication. And the crazy thing to me, now that I look back at it, it's like,
they're
this
legal
is so
drug dealers.
Well, not just that, but like now that I look back at it, like it's so crazy to me that that's what was happening, because I was 200 pounds. I was super depressed. I was super stressed out. In addition to all that stuff that happened with my dad, I was in like an abusive relationship for 4 years where this person was literally like cursing me out daily, punched me in the face, like all kinds of shit.
So you went through a mental,
tough
time.
So in addition to like physically being sick, mentally I was also sick. And not once did anybody ever say to me, maybe you should lose some weight. Maybe you should change your diet. In 1992, we took statistics about testosterone in men, right? Right now, from 1992 to today, men have lost 25% testosterone production, okay? 25%.
Why?
In 20 years, 22
What do you think
years.
It is?
It's a food. What else is it gonna be? What does every single person in this country have in common?
Eating like shit?
We all eat like shit.
Okay. It's like I make fresh bread, and my daughter's like, "Oh, the bread went bad already." I said, "You see?"
Because it's real bread.
I told her, I said, in France, when you walk the streets, or Albania, they make bread. I said, "See this?" And the sliced bread. I'm like, bread's not supposed to stay good for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I make fresh bread. You got to eat it within the day, 24 hours. Or second day, that's it.
Yeah,
tops.
2 days, that's it.
That's it. That's how come everyone's like, well, they eat bread all the time. No, they're eating from scratch. They're eating something that's not processed, sitting there on a shelf.
Yeah.
Life, I get that, but it's laziness.
And convenience. We don't have time to be baking
everything's
bread.
like that for us.
Yeah. And so, like, we were talking about the modern day woman, right? Like before, and like how we're too stressed out. We're entirely too stressed out. And the thing is, we still have all the expectations of the homemaker wife, right? We still have to be moms. We still have to take care of our homes. We still have to cook. We still have to do all that stuff, plus be power players at work, plus be badasses, plus run our own business, plus do all this stuff. We're entirely too stressed out for that to happen. So of course, when somebody says, here's this bread that is baked and sliced, you're gonna take it.
Of course.
Right? And the production companies know that. They know that you need the bread. So now they're gonna say, okay, they need the bread, they're addicted to the bread, let's figure out a way to make this bread cheaper so they'll keep buying it and we'll make more money. So instead of using regular flour, I'm gonna use this shit flour that we created that is literally like 50% chemicals and 50% grains.
Like when they say for sugar, oh, do you want the Splendid or whatever?
Yeah.
And then when you look and you're like, if I'm gonna have sugar, I should have sugar, not made up shit.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. So you made that up in a lab that's healthier than that. I mean,
You wanna
again,
hear-
the common sense kicks in, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
You want to hear something interesting about that? So, regular sugar, right, has the same exact genetic composition as cocaine. Okay? Yeah.
It does?
It does. If you take like DNA from sugar and DNA from cocaine and put them next to each other, they're almost exactly the same. There's
Addicting, right?
Yeah, there's like one strain that's a little different, right? And it affects the same part of your brain that creates the addiction process.
No way.
Yes. So people get addicted to sugar, right?
If I eat Sour Patch Kids,
You got to eat the whole thing.
the whole bag is gone.
But let me tell you something about that, okay? Sour Patch Kids has aspartame in it, okay? If regular whole cane sugar is the same thing as cocaine, right? What do we assume a chemically made sugar is going to be the equivalent of?
Crack?
It's actually, yes, meth, okay?
Makes sense. I love that shit. I love those
Yeah.
fucking Sour Patch Kids. I walk in a store, I don't know what it is with them. I look at the bag and I'm like, geez, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it. I'm like, fuck it. And then I can't have a couple of them.
You have to
I'm
eat the whole
telling you, it
thing.
makes sense.
I understand.
No, that's why I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, because it's like if you get it,
so
you're going to eat the
addicting.
whole thing, right? It's not because you don't have willpower. It's not because you're not disciplined. That chemical component in the sugar creates the same addiction as chemical dependency. So your DNA gets addicted. Your DNA gets addicted to the stimulation that comes from that chemical sugar. So it's not you. And I meet people every.
How is that legal? Think
Well.
about that. No, but think about how
I
demented that
understand.
really is.
Yeah.
Oh, let me make candy for kids and make it really cute. And here you go, little meth head. Here you go, fucking crack.
Well, yeah, because now you have
Let's make this one a Coke head.
Yeah, now you have a lifelong buyer of your product.
Shaped as a teddy bear.
Yeah,
This is a sick place we live.
it is.
And then, what about the other chip? Oh, then they go on social media. Anybody eat Takis?
Takis, and you're gonna end up in the hospital.
I go in my daughter's room. I'm like, Giselle, she was at one point she was a Taki queen,
Okay.
and I'm like, Giselle, the Takis, people are assed out, like they're fucking done.
Yeah.
And she's like, that probably only affects certain people. Like looking at me like, I'm not gonna stop eating those.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's interesting? She did go to the hospital with stomach problems. I never, ever thought maybe it was the Takis. But then after all that came out, I was like, maybe it was the Takis. She's a really, as much as I can be, like, bake things from scratch and be healthy, because I have a family, the European, especially when they come from Albania, like when we bought my home, my yard is very big, and at the time there was nothing but trees and grass.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt and my mom walked back there, and other people would be like, oh, you get a pool, whatever, pavers. My aunt looked around and she was like, do you know the amount of planting we're gonna have blueberries, tomatoes? Now I hear my mother going, we have cucumber tree and orange. I'm like, bro, there's gonna be pavers in a pool. I'm like, what's everybody talking about? They had a game plan. My yard would have been jumping. Also jumping with fucking raccoons, snakes. I probably would have been
my
out there
God.
like popping them. But honestly, it's funny. I always think of that because that's the last thing on earth I thought that we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. And then when they came inside, I was laughing. My aunt's like, you can have a garden, right? I'm like, no, I'm not. Now, I'm like, I should have had a garden. Bro, it would have been in front of my house on a chair. $5, fucking blueberries. Right now, how much are they? $20 a pound? I could knock my tree down. I would have been a zillionaire. I don't even know if that's legal. Fuck that. I'll pull out my pool. I'll start driving. I will be on, and I have deers. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to stop with the deers. I'm about to start charging for that shit too. Like a zoo. They're pulling up in front of my house. I'm like, I'm going to capture this motherfucker by his
Oh my
horns.
God.
You want to pet him? Give him.
So I'm from Brooklyn too, right? We don't
Animals.
see
Why?
animals, right? So when I first moved to Poughkeepsie, my husband's from Poughkeepsie, and so that's we're like an hour and a half north of the city, right? I moved to Poughkeepsie. The first time I go there, right? My now in-laws are like, we're gonna show you around. Let's go for a car ride. We'll show you around, right? We're going down Route 9, Do you know Atlantic Avenue?
Yes.
Okay, so Route 9 is like Atlantic Avenue, right? But there's like trees and space, right? So
Which is odd.
Yeah, which is odd. But it's like Atlantic Avenue. We're going, right? They're showing me all the stores, whatever. So we turn around. We're coming back to their house. And a fox just walks across the road, right? And there's another car in front. This is so fucked up. But this fox just walks across the street, doesn't care. There's like a million cars, right? Doesn't care, walks across the street. The guy in front of us just runs right into him. The fox goes like this over the cars and lands behind us. And my in-laws are like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, we just killed a fox. Like,
no, it's because they're from another. It's a different world.
It's a different world.
It's a different world. They don't look like. When we were young, my father was driving. We were going to a soccer tournament, and there was a cat on the road, and we were going pretty fast. Big black Eldorado back in those days. They were like boats.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the car. Nobody wore seatbelts.
Not
when
in
you
an
were
Eldorado.
born, you were newborn. They put you in the glove compartment. Fucking close the glove compartment. Can you breathe? I think that baby is fine. No, nothing. It was great. We were like the last of the Mohegans. It was the best. And having immigrants as parents is the best thing on earth.
100%.
Because they're so forward, so straight up.
Yeah.
The best.
They don't care.
No, you can't have like a sensitive moment or I need my, there's no such thing. If I'm like, oh, I'm going through a hard time. I had wolves chasing me to school. You have a fucking hard time? Do you have a wolves chasing you? I'm like, no. He's like, you have no hard time.
Yeah,
so
they don't care.
No, they're the best. And talking about like their stories, oh my, then you know you have no fucking problem.
No.
I think we should all go to the old country or go to the third. We should round up the kids. I'm joking, whatever it is. I'll probably get fucking arrested for saying this. All the kids that all think they have fucking problems, we should round them up on buses and drop them off in Albania or in all the other countries and let them live there for 6 months. I guarantee you they come skipping the fucking with no stress, happy as hell.
Grateful.
They'll be like grateful for everything. But you're not going to write a book or anything like on what it is that you, I think you should.
You think I should write a book?
I think you should.
I think eventually I would like to get there, to the point where I'm doing like a written podcast or a book or something like that. But right now I think my mission is to just bring awareness, right? Like there's a different kind of care that we need to put into our health now. And we need nutrition, we need nutrients. And this is the analogy that I give to my clients, right? If you have a car, you could put as much gas in that car as you want to. If there's no oil in that engine, it's not going to go anywhere, okay? Our food is the gas. We could eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, but if you don't have the nutrients that make the whole engine run smoothly, it's not going to go anywhere. And that's the thing that we're not paying attention to. We're looking at how do we get food to people, which is a huge problem, right? Huge problem, which there is a very easy solution to, but we won't look at it. So we need to get food to people. We need to make food affordable. Yes, those are all real problems. But if we're all eating chemicals, if we're all eating garbage, what's that same food that we're working so hard to give people going to do? What is it going to create? And we're starting to live that now. We're starting to see a generation of kids who have the highest diagnosis rating ever in human history. Ever. We're seeing that now. What do all of our kids have in common? It's what they're eating, right? So we need to figure this out. We need to get nutrients into our body. We need to stop putting shit in our systems. And listen, I'm not saying that we need to all
No, moderation.
Moderation is a huge thing. I teach my clients the 80-20 lifestyle, right? And that's kind of like a buzzword now, right? Like everybody's like 80-20, 80-20. But when you live that in practice, when my family gets together, my dad is one of 12. My mom is one of 9. Okay, there was 500 people at my wedding, and we had one table that was friends. Okay,
that's how Albanians roll.
Right. So when my family gets together, we're not thinking about diet. We're eating all the things
that's good.
Yes.
That's what you should be doing. Moderation, 100%, right?
100%.
That's the time to enjoy it.
Exactly. But you know what? Every other day, of my life, I'm eating as healthy as I can. I'm taking supplementation. I'm addressing the things that are going on in my body. I was telling you earlier, like, I used to be very sick. I had literally like a freaking list of diagnoses. So I take a lot of supplements because I'm trying to keep myself healthy now, right? We have to have that balance. If we don't have that balance, we're going to continue down this path where everybody's getting sicker and everybody's having more mental health issues and everybody's like, it's just going to just continue to get worse.
So what supplements should women focus on taking?
If we're just saying, what do I need to take
general,
right now?
Or is everybody different?
Every single person is different. And that's why I do that 200 question survey when people come to see me.
So they could come to see you where? Where is your...
I'm fully remote.
Okay.
I'm fully remote. Everybody can follow me on Instagram. It's Amanda Chinkan Nutrition.
Okay.
That's also...
We'll put that up for everyone.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Yeah, so they can reach out to you.
That's my website too. So as long as you type in Amanda Chinkan Nutrition, you should find me, right? But you can come to my website, Instagram, whatever, and actually my phone number is online too because that's how much I want to actually help people, right?
Okay.
So that's my goal right now is we need to like figure out what's happening to you as an individual, right? But if I was going to give a recommendation for like everybody, I would say 100% get on vitamin D.
Okay.
Right now. Everybody needs it. 75.
How much?
5,000 IUs per day. Right now, the daily recommended intake is 2,000 IUs, okay? If you were a super healthy person who had a vitamin D level of 75, you could take 2,000 IUs and be fine. But if you are a 30...
And eat Sour Patch Kids?
Yeah, we need to have
like
a higher
40,000
dose.
a day.
Exactly.
After I eat fucking 50 bags. When I eat the vitamin D, I'll be like, I'm straight.
Exactly.
I'm a mess.
Take 5,000 IUs of D. Take a DHA omega fat, okay?
Oh, I don't take that.
Mm-hmm. It's basically fish oil, but a lot of the fish oil supplements that we get, it's actually a really small amount. You need like 1,000 IUs of DHA per day, at least, okay? So vitamin D, DHA, you need a multi. You have to take a multi.
I take that.
Yeah. And then a B complex.
That has everything.
Yes.
Because we need the B6.
Exactly. And the 1 and the 2, yes. But you don't just need B12. And all the Bs, they're codependent. They're very, 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 very sensitive. They need each other, right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So
they're like a fucking crew. Now you're going to make me look at that little B complex. I'll be like, I know you motherfuckers. And the B6, you're somewhere over there.
Exactly.
That's the leader of the gang.
Exactly.
That nobody pays
That nobody pays attention to because the B12's out here doing all the work.
I could teach everybody how to remember this shit.
Exactly. So you need a B complex. Make sure your complex has choline in it.
Okay.
Choline is the brain B. Your brain tissue actually absorbs it. It makes you smarter. Women need a minimum of 980 milligrams a day. Right now, the average is 248 milligrams. Yeah. So you need choline in that B complex. But if you have those 4 things, you're good to go.
And the B6 is the coating on the nervous system.
Exactly.
And it'll help strengthen it.
Exactly.
Probably help you age it better too, because that's part of the elastic, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It builds up that
See?
myelin
If I took
sheath.
it to you, think I ought to pay
See?
attention. I listen. But thank
No,
you.
you're Aquarius.
Listen,
You learn.
yes, the Aquarius gang. You have to come back again.
Thank you
right?
so much.
And then we'll give a real diagnosis on what's going on. I had to meeting you first, us talking, hanging out was important. And for everybody I'll put everything down for you to be able to follow Amanda and maybe she can help you out. Because it is this is the day and age, if you're not eating healthy, it's a shame. Yeah. Because there's too much knowledge out there. But we're going to get something to eat. You can say bye to the audience.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you.